All right, the King of Wands. The King of Wands feels like an older gentleman, lots of experience. He was maybe rash and impulsive when he was younger, and he still has his passion and drive, but those flames have been tamed just a little bit. They've been tamed with experience. They've been tamed with a little bit more of perspective. So this is someone who is very wise, who's very knowledgeable, who's been on many quests in his time, has accomplished many things, and has many successes. So he knows a lot about a lot of things. And the other thing that I feel that he knows about is leading people. So because of all of his experience and the things that have gone well and not gone well, and following his passion and following his drive and his ambition, I feel like he's accomplished a very high status, right? The king is the commander of the realm. He is very much in authority. And so this person feels in themselves and acknowledges their authority and their ability to lead. And they probably are at this point in their journey, because this is a later stage of a journey, they are good at leading other people. So this could be a business owner, or this could be someone who is very high in management, who has lots of employees under him, or who has people that work for him, an assistant. And he feels to me like he is a leader, he is an inspirer. He tries to bring out the best in others. He wants to teach them to lead. He wants to teach them to use their creativity and their power in ways that are useful and productive and uplift others. So he is a great source of knowledge and inspiration. He is also very passionate, and he can be very exuberant, especially when he's talking about the things that fire him up and make him feel really, really excited. This is someone who doesn't do well with things being boring, that is not a word, boring, and blasé. He is very much interested in like having another quest and another adventure. So even in his old age, if things are too much ho-hum and status quo for too long, he can be a little bit bored. He really does enjoy I don't want to know if I want to use the word hunt, but he enjoys the creativity and the passion that he expends as he goes forth and he tackles like this new challenge or like this new thing, and like he rallies all of his men, which could be his employees in this case, right? And they're all like, oh, okay, this is the thing we're going to tackle now, right? Like we're going to like conquer this thing, and we're going to change this around, and we're going to reinvent this company, or like whatever the thing is that like he enjoys and he likes doing, and that makes his sort of like life force flow through him. I do feel like the major way that his life force flows through him now, and in his general passion now, is in assisting others and leading and becoming more of who they are and channeling their inner power, their inner charisma, and those things. So if this card is representing a life stage, you know, the king he's at a later stage. In the beginning, it was the page with the vision, and then it was the knight who had all his energy and wanted to go out and get stuff done, right? It was all about action and realizing the vision. The queen is someone who has a lot of experience, and she's starting to really think, maybe I can make this into something more. The king is moved fully into the teacher, the wise old sage. Like now he's really ready fully to like completely give back his knowledge and so forth. So now I do want to make this point. I'm not saying that the queen cannot teach, but if I were just looking at it in stages and not looking at it in gender, you know, the queen stage would be the stage where you do know a lot about that thing, you have a lot of knowledge, you're starting to think about, maybe I could create a legacy, maybe I could create some sort of teaching program or situation. And then the later stage is going to be, okay, I have created the program, I have created the teaching thing that I'm going to show others, I have created like whatever the thing is, right? And now I am actively engaged in helping other people move up and helping other people go through the stages, right? This guy's probably mentoring some pages and a lot of knights, and he's helping them basically get their shit together so that they can at some point become the wise old king that he is. So that's what this would mean if it were a life stage instead of a person, because the court cards can mean either. really, actually, the court cards mean whatever your intuition tells you that they mean, but we're just going over the archetypes of what they're most likely to mean. Okay, so those are the main energies that I get from the King of Wands. Okay, the other thing I get from the King of Wands is he has a lot of deep respect for those that he leads, or those that he's training, or those that he's helping bringing to the next level, right? He really enjoys like instilling his knowledge in others and helping them channel their passion and drive in ways that are going to help them and uplift them. All right, and the other thing I noticed about this card is that he has a lot of like knowledge and a vast amount of time. How do I say this? He's old. That's what I'm trying to say. He's old, and so therefore he knows about a lot of stuff. And because he's old, he has the wisdom to not get annoyed when like some small thing happens. He knows that it'll be over soon and it'll be on to the next thing and like it'll be fine. So whereas when he was younger, he might have gotten upset by a setback. Now that he's wiser and older, he knows that those things are just like temporary inconveniences. It's going to be over and we're just going to move on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Like it's going to be fine. And that is part of the knowledge I feel that he instilled in his pupils or his apprentices or his employees or whoever it is, or his other managers that are below him, that like he's helping move them to the next rung. Okay? So reversed, the King of Wands is someone that other people don't want to follow and they don't want to learn from. So this person either doesn't have the qualifications, doesn't have the experience, doesn't actually know what he's talking about, but yet maybe he's trying to lead others, or he's trying to put himself into a position where the person who should occupy that position is someone with a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but he doesn't have it. So he's kind of being like a poser, right? He's pretending that he has all of this knowledge and trying to come off as someone who knows about X, Y, and Z when really he doesn't know it at all. And so he may come off as like a blowhard or just someone who is like totally out to lunch, and other people can see right through it and they're like, really? Really? You're going to pretend that you're all that and you don't know jack about what you're talking about, right? So it could be that sort of energy. Not actually being wise, not actually having the wisdom, right? The other thing this could mean is this person is disconnected from their power and they're disconnected from their passion. So because of that, they're not doing anything in the world. They're not creating things. They're not dynamic. Their dreams are not being realized. And they feel this sense of like sadness or depression because it's not happening. And maybe somewhere inside they feel this impulse to like help other people or teach other people, but they also have no confidence to do so. They don't feel like they have what it takes because they didn't create the thing. They didn't create the thing because they're not tapped into their power, their passion, their creativity. They don't believe in it, or there's some sort of like block that's stopping it from coming forward. So this may be a person that worked in the same job for 1,000,000 years, learning the same thing, well, not learning the same thing, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and they feel stifled because it wasn't something that was in alignment with their path. Whereas when this card is upright, okay, this person learned something, moved to a new place, learned something, moved to a new place, accomplished something, moved to a new place, accomplished something, right? Like they just kept going up the stair step, whereas this person just kept like staying in the same place and like never moving, never doing anything new, never doing that creative project they wanted to do, never stepping out in faith and like taking a risk and doing something because they were too afraid. It feels to me like the fear energy is almost like putting water out on a fire. The fear was so much that their passion and creativity never got off the ground, whereas this one is like a blazing fire. There's so much fire energy going on that no amount of water could put it out, right? It kind of feels like that. So the negative aspects of this card reversed is someone who is just basically disconnected. The other thing this can mean is someone who like does a lot of talking about something but then doesn't actually do anything. So they're always talking about these grand ideas and da 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 da, but then they never do jack to make them happen or to like bring them into form in some way. It's all just talk, 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 talk with no action to bring it up. And other people are tired of hearing about it and they just are like, okay, I'm done. Like if you tell a story again about how you're going to do whatever and then like, I know you're not going to do it, like just stop. It's the kind of thing like people don't even want to hear it anymore, okay? All right, so that is the That is the primary energy that I get from the King of Wands. Alright guys, I'll see you next in the suit of Swords.